but Surefire's about 3/4. Now elects Serpentine. Surefire wins it. Surefire from Serpentine and Crystal Peg. Old Flame takes the lead for James McDonald, and Old Flame is coming away. Old Flame won the Linlithgow, Poland second, Ironclad third, then. But it's in secret clear. J-Mac riding the lights out. In secret won it. 2 League Sabre won it. Not Jay's up for third. Espura with a fight on her hands with 50 metres to go from Baranskova, but the favourite fends them off, and Espura won it from Baranskova. Sneaky Page in a photo for third, or Zappin.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel for what is going to be a great race day. Melbourne Cup Day. The race that stops the nation is upon us again, but I'll be covering every single runner and my tips in my Red by Runner preview, which will be out later today. But this is the preview, going through every race for the undercard and hopefully backing some winners, because I'm pretty keen on a couple. But let's get into them and let's get the winners. Race number 1 at Flemington on Melbourne Cup Day, and it's the Group 3 Maribyrnong Plate down the straight over the 1,000 metres for the speedsters at Group 3 level. I'm with Zolvacar here, clearly the one to beat for James Cummings and Will Buick. Favourite early, and I like that fact, and has been supported to into 3:30 now, and I think is clearly the one to beat here. Belly for the stablemate for Hugh Bowman, drawn barrier 7, the right part of the straight, and I think will be going well. Exposition for J-Mac, Chris Waller, that combination generally provides a win over the Carnival, but just want to see what the horse does first. And Parade Ground for 4th, I thought was a good chance, and is a stablemate to the top 2 chances in my selections. But I'm with Zolvacar, race 1 at Flemington in the Group 3 Maribyrnong Plate 35, the win. Race number 2 at Flemington is the Macca's Run over the 2,800 metres at benchmark 96 level. And last year's winner, Team Captain, comes into this race as a $12 chance for Blake Shin. But I'm with the favourite in White Marlin for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott. Tim Clark to ride 56 kilos. It was a very impressive win from White Marlin at Caulfield last start, and keeping intact his undefeated record. Comes up in grade to a 96 from a 78, so way up in grade. But there's 2 things you know: that he's going to handle the ground, and Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott wouldn't have him in the race if they didn't think he was a genuine winning chance, and I think he'll absolutely space them here. Herman Hess for 2nd. I found it pretty hard to see a fault with him. I mean, he's got a good form. He handles the ground. He's going to handle the distance, but just a query at how he's going. Moonlight Gamma and Belle won the next best and over the odds at 18 and 23 respectively. But I'm with White Marlin in the Macca's Run over the 2,800 metres. The first staying race on Melbourne Cup Day, 45 to win. Very confident that he just wins. Race number 3 at Flemington is a Sub-Zero handicap at benchmark 90 level, the traditional Greys race on Melbourne Cup Day, and I'm with the favourite in Ascension. Johnny Allen for Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace was a big win last start at Caulfield on heavy ground and in a benchmark 84, so it comes up slightly to a 90, but Johnny Allen retaining the ride, drops half a kilo from last start and is drawn barrier 5 in a pretty hard race, I thought, but I'm going with the horse that's going to handle the ground, going to handle the conditions, and getting onto a bigger track will only advance this horse's chances, and he's 4 from 8 on soft ground, and has had 1 win from 5 starts on heavy ground, but with a 2nd and 3rd placing, so a very good chance. The Cunning Fox is the interesting one here. Probably better suited over further, but I think that Paddy Payne can have him ready to fire here first up. Craig Williams, 54, good chance. Criminal Code, J-Mac, Chris Waller. If the surface was drier, like if we were potentially facing a good track, I probably would put this horse on top, but just with wet ground, yet to prove himself first up. Got a few queries around Criminal Code. Not to be missed, I thought was over the odds at $21, but I'm with Ascension, race number 3 at Flemington for the Greys race, 25 to win. Race number 4 at Flemington is the listed Tab Trophy Stakes over the 1,800 metres, and I'm with the favourite in Quang for Mickey D and Paddy Payne. This horse is clearly the one to beat, and will give them an absolute toweling in the end. 56 for this horse, absolutely the best weight it could get. Forward, barrier 14, shouldn't be an issue considering this horse generally jumps well and pushes forward anyway. and is 1 from 2 at Flemington with a second. But that second was the Skiffios, and to be honest, she should have bolted in that day. She should be undefeated at Flemington, handles all conditions. I think that she'll just win it, and I'm pretty confident in her chances. Zoe's Promise for second was a very good win, beating the Waller horse at Caulfield in Redina and What a Deal, and backed it up by winning the Group 2 Fillies Classic at the Valley on Cox Plate Day. So good chance for Alana Kelly. Dashing for Linda Meach was the next best, I thought, and will handle the ground. And Born Hustler, the stable have decided to put the blinkers on, so interesting to see how that horse goes at $34. But Kung Tree, the one to beat in the Tab Trophy Stakes, 60 the win. I'm very confident. Race number 5 at Flemington is a Super Babies 3-year-old plate down the straight over the 1,000 metres, and I'm with Alpha Flight and Field of Flutes. I found it very hard to split the two of them in a very open race, and that is said so by the market. You know, you got an $8 favourite. It's pretty open when that happens. But I'm going with Alpha Flight. It's never missed a place. He's been very good this campaign. Loves 1,000 metres. Damien Lane on for Richard and Chantal Jolly. They would be over the moon if they could get a winner on Melbourne Cup Day or even through Melbourne Cup week. And I think they've got a great chance here. He'll handle the 1,000. He loves all conditions. Barrier 9's perfect. Damien Lane aboard. He's a very good chance. Field of Flutes, I narrowly had him for second. If you had to pin me down to pick one horse, it would be Alpha Flight because of the form. But Field of Flutes led at the Valley and just tied late in the benchmark 70. So I'm not convinced. Well, I'm convinced is a good horse, and he'll run well here for Johnny Owen, 57 kilos for the Kieran Munn Dave Eustace team. And at $10, I can see him running up into the top 3 and potentially winning. And because I think he'll lead the field here and can kick away and win. Fish and Crosswinds, the other two I thought were over the odds, but Alpha Flight for mine and Field of Flutes, I found it very hard to split them both. Race 5 at Flemington. Race number 6 at Flemington is the one before the big one. It's a listed Melbourne Cup Day plate over the 1,800 metres, and I'm with Noname Lane here. I think he's a very good chance, and considering that Noname Lane beat the favourite in Just Folk only a couple of starts ago, I can't understand why Just Folk's the 480 favourite and you're getting $850 for Noname Lane. That just seems wrong to me, because he beat Noname Lane in the listed Seymour Cup. Not by a big margin, but still beat him fair and square. And then Noname Lane went to the Turak, and I thought it was a very good performance running 7th in the Group 1. Going up to the 1,800 metres suits him. On wet ground, so soft or heavy, he is the best horse in the race on those conditions. He's drawn barrier 1. Linda Meach aboard with 55.5 kilos, and there's an intent there, booking Linda Meach to go forward, and I can see this horse kicking clear at the top of the straight, and nothing will be able to catch him. So that's why he's on top. Just Folk for second. I can see him just perching off Noname Lane and having the last crack at him. Sir Davy's got a great chance in the race, but he is only first up he's third up. But just a query how well he's going. You know, he's 6 behind Noname Lane and Just Folk in the Seymour Cup. So just a query on how he's going. But he's got the crossover noseband going on for the first time. Ethan Brown on 54. Can see him running well. And Pondus for Michelle Payne, I thought was over the odds at $34. But I'm going to have 25 to win, Noname Lane in the listed Melbourne Cup Day plate. And race number 8 at Flemington is a benchmark 90 handicap over the 1,400 metres. And I'm with Munamek for Blake Shin and Nick Ryan. Hutchie's horse here. Barrier 4, 55.5 kilos, I think will be winning here, and I think Blake Shin can claim a race on Melbourne Cup Day. Third up, was very good last start, running third, and will handle the conditions. That was very testing ground at Caulfield last start on a heavy 10. Ran the 1,400 out well, and was very good in getting a place behind a session, and I'm pretty keen on that horse's chances in the Greys race, and I think that Munamak is the one to be here. Greenfly is the interesting horse. The Annabelle Nation import, or the Annabelle Nation trained import. Interested to see how it goes. First up in Australia, $850 is a good price. Detonator Jack, I think this horse has a great chance here. Has had 4 starts for the 3 wins and a third. That third was in the Group 1 South Australian Derby, where he was favourite, but probably was an end of prep run. But still, he did all that in his first preparation. So I think he's a great chance here for Johnny Owen. Teaming up with the horse after he did run third in the Derby on him. And Mixed Moment for 4th. It's a query if he handles the ground or not, but it's J-Mac and Chris Wills, so what do you say? But I'm with Noname in race 8 at Flemington, 25 the win. Race number 9 at Flemington is the Group 3 Hong Kong Jockey Club Stakes over the 1400 metres, and I think Promise of Success is the one to beat for Karen McAvoy and John O'Shea third up. Great chances, great third up record in 3 starts for a win and a second. Handles soft ground, 5 starts for the 4 wins and a second. And at this distance range of 1400 metres, has had 4 starts for 2 wins and 2 seconds. And I think getting to Flemington on the big open surface will prove no issue to the horse and is clearly the one to beat. Fine point for second if she gets into the field. She's a great chance for Jason Collett and Chris Waller. Very consistent horse over her career and comes off a very good third last start up in Sydney. Literary Magnate goes on anything and is a good chance for Dean Yendell and the Williams team. And Roots for Damien Oliver and Chris Waller, another one of the emergencies to yet get a run, but I think it's a great chance if it does. But I'm with Promise of Success in the Group 3 Hong Kong Jockey Club Stake. 35 the win on her, and 10 the win on Fine Point if it gets into the field. And race number 10 at Flemington on the massive day is the listed MSS Security Sprint over the 1200 metres down the straight. And I'm with the Astrologist. Was very good in running third on Saturday in the Rising Fast Stakes at Group 3 level. Comes back to listed grade and will be on wet ground again, and is very good on the ground, very good down the straight, loves the 1200 metres, and I think it's the one to beat here. 5th up, I think he's ready to win with 59 kilos on. Mark Zara sticks from riding him on the weekend and does draw a better barrier, draws 7 instead of 2, does have the same weight, but is a very good chance at 850, and I think he'll be winning here. Shelby 66, getting a bit long on the tooth for his trustworthiness, and he hasn't showed anything this campaign, but I just think first time down the straight, Timmy Clark retains a ride, handles wet ground. It's going to handle the 1200 metres fair enough. Drawn well in barrier 4. Got a lightweight in 55 kilos. I think that this horse is really to show something, and I think can do so down the straight. And $26, he's over the odds for mine. I thought he was around a $15, $16, and still double figures, but not as that big. Zethus and Nicolini Vito next best. Nicolini Vito will be charging home late. Same with Zethus, who will be midfield. But I'm with the Astrologist. He'll be up on the pace, and I think he can kick away and win in the last at Flemington. 15 the win, and 2 each way on the roughie. Shelby 66. Thank you for watching my preview for Group 1 Melbourne Cup Day. Hope you've enjoyed it, and the preview for the runner-by-runner for the Melbourne Cup will be coming out very soon. And I hope you enjoy that as well. And I hope I find the winner of the Melbourne Cup. But I'll see you soon for the runner by runner.